Hey guys, Vlogmas Day 5. Super excited, as usual. So today I kind of have some things to do with in my lab. I have some stuff I have to handle there, and then we're also going on a field trip, and I also have a class. So a lot of the stuff is just like back to back to back, and I have to get that stuff done like with my lab stuff today because we have like somewhere we're going tomorrow that so basically I'll try to show you. It's basically like oppression monopoly, and we kind of demonstrate how oppression works at different socioeconomic statuses, and how that basically frames the rest of your life through a monopoly game developed by my advisor. So that's kind of what I'm doing today, is getting those games together, because we are presenting those to some people somewhere. I don't know, I'll just be there. And yeah, so all that has to be ready to go, and I have not started on it, so yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, I'll try to bring you guys with me wherever I go. Like I said, we do have that field trip. I don't think I'd be able to vlog there, so I might have to skip. I'll tell you guys about it later though. But all right guys, ooh, those fell. All right y'all, I'll see you later. Hey y'all, so I'm back. So unfortunately I wasn't able to get any like videos or anything of the field trip we were on. I was really trying. Like, I put the camera up to the thing they had going, and the guy was like, no video, no pictures. So I was like, all right. So I couldn't do that for you guys. I'm so sorry, but I'm here now, getting ready to put together these Monopoly boxes. So this is a really fun game to play, the oppression monopoly, because it really teaches you about inequality based on income, socioeconomic status. And I don't want to give away the game, but you see, like, even when things are equal, things are still not equal. So if you're ever interested in doing it, Richard Harvey is a good person to play it with. And if you have some some relatives that you don't agree with their views on some things, this is a good way to get their minds together. So I was gonna have a little chit chat with you guys about why I chose IO psychology as I was getting these boards together. I'm in this lab by myself. Nobody's here. It's kind of late. It's like 6 o'clock, so I just have to finish these by tomorrow. So I decided to come to the lab and get it knocked out instead of coming here earlier and doing it, because I know I ain't finna get up early. I'm not even finna play to myself. I go to bed around 2-3 o'clock sometimes. That is my normal time of going to bed. I've just accepted it for now, because this is just what my life is right now. So yeah, y'all, I was just kind of gonna talk to you guys about why I chose IO psychology while I do these boards. So for those of you who aren't familiar with IO psychology, it's basically, how I describe it is basically using psychological concepts and scientific method and science to the workplace. So we're not necessarily working with individuals on a one-on-one as far as like counseling or clinician or anything like that. We don't do that. It's more so people get into organizational development, people get into like selection, talent management, performance. I mean, it's a broad field. You can kind of go anywhere with it, but we more so focus on the science behind it and giving a solution to organizations based on science, not based on best practice, which a lot of people tend to do. So yeah, in regard to the science, so to me, I kind of see it as like a problem-solving field. Really, we problem solve. We give solutions to organizations, and more specifically to what I want to do. I want to get into consulting, external consulting. I'm very fond of the jet setter lifestyle, getting up, going somewhere different. I am very fond of that, so I definitely want to do that. And I want to work with different organizations. Like, I don't want to be stuck to just one organization and like doing something within that. Even though you could do a broad range of things, it'd still be stuck to one organization. I kind of want to get to know different organizations in different industries and see like what people do, because even though it'll be different, some things will be different across each industry, there are still communalities of, our practice that we would bring to them. So that's kind of what I want to do. And so when I realized I wanted to do IL psychology, I was an undergrad, and I was actually in my senior year, and I honestly had no clue like what I was gonna do. I remember being on the phone with I had a boyfriend then, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna wing it and see what happens. So when I first got there, when I first got to the university, I went to a 2-year college. I went to a community college, then I went to actual university. And when I got to university, that's when I told him, like, I'm just gonna wing it and see what happens. And then, like, literally my last year of undergrad, I finally figured out what I wanted to do, which was IL psychology. And while I was there, luckily I needed a minor. And luckily, like, psychology was my minor. And so I was like, okay, so even though I graduated with a sociology degree, I was still able to kind of maneuver into IL psychology easily. I didn't have to like go back or anything and take some more classes. I'm very happy like to be here in my PhD program and everything. And the more I'm here, the more I realize like I really did make the right decision, because I was dabbling going into counseling, and I don't know why I have like this weird obsession with like relationships and more so like relationship counseling and all of that, and more so marriage counseling. But that's something I would like to dabble in. But at one point, that's where I was thinking about. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna go in there, but I just never really committed to it 100% because I don't know, I didn't know yet. I was like, maybe I'll go there, maybe I won't. But then rolling in dough here. But then I was like, I got to that class and I just changed my mind. I was like, this is what I want to do. This is it right here. I like it. And I always kind of envisioned myself as like a businesswoman, like wearing the suits every day and getting up and kind of just being on my way and wearing the all black type of thing. I mean, obviously, business is, oh man, I'm not even paying attention. I still need this money out. Businesses are different, and you don't always have to wear that. There's business casual. A lot of people let you wear jeans at your organization. But I always saw myself as somebody who was going to be working in that facility, in that realm, working with organizations, flying and traveling around and, constantly meeting new contacts and stuff like that. So that's why when I got into this field, when I discovered, I was like, yeah, I like this. This is what I like. And so here I am. And I think a really good thing about our field is that it uses science. So it's not like we're not just coming out of our, wazoo with these solutions or anything. And another thing I like it with problem solving, a big issue, and I think this is not just with organizations, but with people in general. A lot of people don't really look for what the real problem is. And I think that is an issue, because if you give solutions to people on something that they didn't need, it's worthless. And one thing that I really like about our field is that we give solutions based on what people need, It's not just, it's not just coming out of our whatever. Like, so when we do the problem solving, for instance, you're supposed to, like, for me, at least, say you're having like a training issue, like the training probably isn't transferring or something like that. A needs analysis, seeing what's going on with that training, is going to get you really far. And a needs analysis is basically taking a deep dive into what's going on. What are the gaps right now? Like, what do you need? I don't want to say what do you need, but it kind of is like, what do you need? Kind of looking at what are the factors contributing to, I guess it was more so like an identification of needs in that sense. It's an identification of needs. So yeah, that's how I would describe it, at least. So yeah, And based on that needs analysis, we've pinpointed potential areas of concern. And then you look into the literature, what solutions have been proposed and been empirically backed up that work for these type of solutions. And then you kind of look more like, well, how much is this solution? That's more so business, like how much is this solution? How practical is it incorporating it here and stuff? And so I don't know, I really like that. I'm a fan of that. Instead of just coming up, well, so this organization did that and that's blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, every organization is different. So you can't just sit up here and be like, oh, this organization did that, so we can do that too. No, that's not 100% true. Sometimes, there's a limitation. Like, yeah, this worked, but it tended to work in this type of organization or in this type of context. And you got to see which one works for you more so. Let me see. Okay. 1, 2. So it differs, and it's just like, organizations are really complex. I mean, I don't want to say organizations are just like people, but they kind of are. Like, not everyone is the same. Like, every person is different. Even though there are communalities amongst people, and there are probably there are communalities amongst organizations, everyone is different. And so you have to approach it differently. You can't come with the same thing for each one. And so I think that's what I like about it and respect about our field the most. Gave these people too much money for y'all. They ain't had that much. Social science is complex, okay? I know a lot of people try to downgrade social scientists and like, well, they're not, how do you say, like, I don't know, people would say pure scientists or whatever that is, because it's not like, I don't know, I guess physics or something like that. But this science ain't simple, okay? We do have some issues in social science. Not everything can be, so when you're trying to measure attitudes and you're trying to measure that like, that's hard. Like, you can't, because it's not concrete. It's not like engineers or where here and here are this length or this, they're like this in every single situation. Like, that's not 100% true with attitudes. And, if I'm just saying attitudes, but it can be anything else we're looking at, measuring. So then, that creates an issue there. You know what I mean? It's just, sometimes it can be really frustrating when people try to, like, downgrade your field. When people do that, if people hit you like, oh yeah, that's just a simple science, hit them back when it's a complex science. My advisor taught me that. Because people will try it and they don't deserve to, okay? But yeah, y'all, that kind of finishes up my little chit chat about why I chose IL psychology and my little added rant that I went on. I didn't mean to go on that rant, but sometimes you gotta say what needs to be said, okay? I'm actually gonna finish up doing this and then probably head home after that. I don't know if I'm gonna stop and get some food or not, but I'll update you as I know myself. Y'all, I'm so petty right now. This lady is like honking at me, telling me to go, and I don't have to, so I'm not. gonna finish this real quick. But anyways, y'all, I finished with everything. I'm super tired and I'm not moving. I wonder if I turn my car off if she'll leave. Let me see. Hold on. Cause she really getting on. He or she, whoever this is, they are really trying it. I think that's so rude. Like to just. Anyways, y'all. Off she goes. I was telling you to go because I'm not leaving just yet.
Oh, okay.
How rude. Like, how? Girl, if you don't get your... I'm gonna make her mad because I'm about to leave in a second anyways. But I just think that's super rude. Like, but anyways, y'all. I will holler at y'all probably sometime tomorrow. We have to meet at a bank to do this suppression monopoly, and luckily I finished all those boxes. So, but yeah. All right, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Vlogmas day 6. All right. Bye.